Seth?
Andy,
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked so much about all the youth and inexperience and all. I mean, what impressed you most about your defense's performance on Saturday?
Probably the way they prepared during the week, for a younger group, a little less experience like we've been talking about. I mean, these guys may have only been here for a couple years, but they got a ton of experience last year and in the off season. And coaches did a great job preparing them and teaching them how to prepare has been a huge emphasis behind the scenes. And the players really invested themselves into it. And obviously that's 1 week out of the season, and there's a week after week, 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time. We got to be able to keep focused and get prepared.
With Desmond Williams, what impresses you about him? And I know you guys really like the athleticism that he brings to that position, but it certainly we saw in that play too. But what do you like about Des?
Yeah, no question. His caused fumble down there near the goal line going in was a remarkable play, a great effort play. And something that we've been focusing on, and obviously the coaches have been doing a great job of making the guys ball aware, and there was he saw an opportunity there to punch the ball out, and obviously he connected, and it was a huge play for us, and that's just, Des brings that spark on the field. He flies around, he plays fast, is with all the other guys and stuff. I mean, there's plenty of things we need to clean up and improve on, but we're really excited about Des and the things he's doing.
What was his job on that play, and what he did? Was that exactly what you teach him to do? Was that instincts, or kind of how did that come to be there?
His job on the play, first off, he was in coverage on an inside wide receiver and just reacted to the throw. I think he actually kind of went into celebration a little bit and then reacted like, uh-oh. But his reaction was impressive. I mean, he put his foot in the ground, and he covered some ground over there. And I would like to say that's what we teach them to do, but at the end of the day, when the bullets are flying and everything's happening that quick, it was a great reaction by him, and obviously he did a really nice job getting that ball out of the ball carrier's hands.
Coach Arson talked a little bit about the rookie mentality last week, and as a coach, you go from coaching guys like Tanner Vallejo and Ben Weaver who have been here forever, but how does it maybe kind of energize you, or how is it different when you're coaching guys that have never started a college football game before? Yeah,
no question. There's definitely it's a different. It's not a different setting, but the audience to a certain degree is a little bit different. You still have Leighton and Tyson in there who you could give more things to in terms of game plan and preparing and stuff like that. You got some of the younger guys where we're just focused on them and them improving their techniques, their fundamentals, and their assignments all the time. So it's a little bit different, and the guys would tell you, the room's a little bit more spread out in terms of where they're at and knowing the defense is because of time that they've been here. But I will say this too, I mean, I think one of the remarkable things that happen and that's got to continue to happen is that the older guys that have been around and know how to prepare and know what needs to happen are doing a great job with the younger guys.
Seems like your stud ends played really well. I mean, Whitney and Weaver particularly. Frazier maybe got in briefly. What was kind of how do you feel that group did? And also Jabril, I think he did get in, but not too much. Yeah,
so the studs did a great job. They handled their coverage pretty well. They provided some pressure on the quarterback, and we were able to move them around and do some different things like that. And I mean, we're trying to play as many guys as we can. It's a long season. Obviously, Curtis got rolling pass rush wise, and Sam obviously did a nice job there too. And Jabril's going to be in the mix, and he's been doing a good job at practice too. So there's nothing there. There's, the other two guys are rolling.
Washington State seems to have one of the more unique offenses in football. I had a chance to play them last year, get to see them up close. What's the biggest challenge when you're trying to face them?
Well, I mean, I think what they did the other night is they're balanced. They ran the ball really well. They established the run game. Obviously, their pass attack is very powerful. They got a really good quarterback, one of the best in the nation. They got a wide receiver core that features length and size, speed, and really good route runners. So they have an offensive line that is big and that has some experience and does a really good job protecting their quarterback and moving guys off the ball in the run game. So I think you combine all that stuff and it makes them balanced, and obviously it presents some challenges.
Tyson Maeva is a guy that we talked about in the offseason.
Yeah.
Something about linebackers who aren't prototypical size, but what does he bring that you guys like so much, and I know some of their players talk about him kind of playing older than he seems.
Yeah, no question. First and foremost, Tyson loves the game, and Tyson has a great football IQ. He is very intelligent. He loves the game. He studies it. He gets it. It makes sense to him. And he prepares extremely hard. He prepares like he's been here for 3-4 years. And he's a guy that's helping. He's been here for a year, but he's helping the guys that have been here, for 6 months or so. And his leadership is starting, to show up as a Mike linebacker on the field. And I don't. When it comes to size, obviously there's ideal markers we're looking for. But at the end of the day, if a guy could play, he could play. And if he could go out there and he could lead and he could listen and he could learn and do the right things on and off the field, those they're our kind of guys.
Staying with the linebackers right next to him, how do you think Leighton played and led on Saturday?
Leighton was all over the field. I mean, he was all over the field. He was making plays inside the box. He provided some pressure on the quarterback. He was running the alleys on his side of the field. He was running the alleys on the other side of the field. He did a solid job in coverage. As always, there's going to be things that we need to keep improving on and that we need to get better at, but very excited about what Tyson did, what Leighton did, and really what all of them did. So some of the guys that jumped in there for the first time and played, the Benton Wickershams, obviously Riley Wimpy getting a shot to get in there. Will Hefner got in there and executed and did his job. So I was excited for those guys, happy for them because they put in a lot of hard work. It's just fun. It's fun to see them go out there and be able to execute and play fast.
For all the talk about the turnovers and stuff, you go in at halftime and you guys were -2 in the turnover, right out of the gate. To get 3 in the second half like that and a couple at key times, what is that? Just, I guess, how relieving, with all the emphasis you put on it to see it pay off right there right away.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old deal. We're going to prepare. We're going to make sure we're emphasizing it and, let it take its course. And obviously, there at halftime we had none, and we were able to get some, in back-to-back drives and really in areas that we haven't. We punched the ball out twice on the ball carrier. We had sack strip, and then obviously a hell of a play by Keikoa back there in the secondary, going up and getting that ball. That was awesome, to see and know that the D lineman also helped him with that and creating some pressure on the quarterback. And we got a quarterback hit by Louis on that play, which we talk about all the time. And it's the defense working together, the rush helping the coverage helping the rush.
Sometimes you can't see the forest from the trees, but as a coach, do you sit there and go, how did we get a guy like Avery Williams as a walk-on? Do you think about that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, Avery's a perfect example, of the guys you would hope to get as a walk-on. I mean, that's what you're always striving for. Leighton Vander Esch's. You're always looking to get, to find those guys out there. They're not so much overlooked anymore. I don't know how Avery was overlooked. I have no idea, but we're certainly happy that he's here. What you see on the field, he's an even better person. He's unbelievable here in the building and what he does. Even for a younger guy, his leadership, the attitude he comes with every day. He puts a smile on everybody's face, and it's contagious. It is really contagious. So we're very grateful, that Avery's here, and very happy for him that he started off his college career the way he did.
You look at that game on Saturday, and Coach Harsin brought up that he felt like the communication on the defense was pretty good. For a young defense, I mean, how impressive is that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really think there was like a busted play or really anything like that.
There's a couple in there, that you turn on the film and you see. But you know what? We were pretty happy. We talk about winning pre-snap, and getting ahead of the play and doing a really good job with formation recognition and communicating with each other. So we're all united. We're on the same page. And we did a pretty solid job. There's a couple things in there that we definitely, the opponents will see and that we got to get cleaned up. But overall, we were very satisfied, and the guys played fast. They did a great job. They had a ton of different formations and motions and things that they had to adjust to. Some that we saw and we were prepared for, and some new stuff. And the new stuff they adjusted on the fly or when we got to the sideline. They were awesome in listening and getting adjusted. So it's a fun group. I'll tell you, these guys, obviously, they wouldn't be able to play as young, as they are if they didn't have a high football IQ.
No,
What are
last
the
year you
biggest
guys
challenges that
Sorry. Go ahead.
Last year you guys played a lot of true freshmen.
Yeah.
And I guess how important was it for you guys to do that? And on Saturday, like half of your starting lineup on defense was a part of the 16 class.
Mm-hmm. Well, last year, we were investing in the youth and in the development at certain times, which obviously we were hoping would pay dividends, and really, I think it did. Obviously, we got a lot of work to do. We got to keep getting better every single day, every single week. But looking at the roster and seeing, okay, you always got to. That's the other side of this college football is you got to prepare for the future. As recruiters, looking at the depth chart and knowing, where we going to be at, and college football is about development and investing in these guys, and as obviously as people, as students, and obviously as football players. So that's really, I commend it to all the coaches here, starting with Coach Harsin and the job we've done. Obviously we got a lot of work to do still, but done a pretty good job of those guys.
What are the biggest challenges that Luke Bolt presents in just playing in Marseille and didn't always go the way you wanted to when you played him up there?
You know what? Number one, he's very experienced. He's like having a coach back there. He knows, he knows what he's seeing from the defense. He's able to see, and he works well before the snap. He does a good job, and he knows where he wants to go with the ball. He's got a quick release, great accuracy, and obviously he's got some good wide receivers that he's working with, and even, the tailbacks out of the backfield and getting those guys the ball in the right situation and checking it down to them or getting the ball to them on screen plays, and those guys have been very productive for them as well.
How do you think Harrison Ducros played? And it seemed like early on they were kind of testing him a little bit, but he had a tackle for loss and one time pushed the guy out of bounds when he might have had the touchdown there. Wouldn't let him get his foot in.
Yeah, I think both corners on the outside and all the guys that were in there competed. They really did. There were a few plays that their wide receivers got on the perimeter, which they're really good players, and we knew we were going to have to compete out there. And it was so fired up to see Reed, and Tyler and Avery and those guys that were in there compete. And hey, one play is one play. We got to be able to come back and jump right back into the fight and overcome adversity if something happens. So we were excited to see. I think Coach Ambrose did a great job preparing those guys, and obviously we got a big task this week. With this wide receiver core, they got a ton of length and size on the outside and speed. So we're going to have our hands full on the outside as well this week.
That give you a little bit more confidence, because one of the things you guys talked about was not giving up big plays, and I think you might have given up only 2 that were more than like 18 yards against Troy, and I know it's kind of a similar thing with Washington State, how they play. But how big was that aspect? Not just getting the turnovers, but just cutting down on those big plays which those teams can try to get on you.
Yeah, no question. We're always trying to eliminate the explosive plays. We've got to try to make them earn it, and part of that is just being resilient and being able to execute consistently is really what it is, and go out there and compete. It's a game of one-on-one matchups. At the end of the day, it's a game of one-on-one matchups, and we're gonna, like I said, Washington State has a very talented wide receiver core, and as well as their backs. So we're gonna have to be able to compete and execute this week as we face them with the challenges that they pose.